It is the Frank and Friends show. Hi, I'm Frank Murphy.
Hi, I'm Becca James, the girl with two first names.
Becca, hi.
Hi, Frank. I've missed you.
Look, I missed you too. Look at us. We're starting right on time today so that we can both get on about our busy day.
Don't curse us.
Well, I'm glad you're here, even on your day off from your real job.
I know. It's so nice to have a day off.
Becca says, if I had noticed that she's wearing comfy pants, I didn't look. I'm sorry that I didn't look because you're not going to go to work today.
I did, but feel loved because I put makeup on for you on my day off.
Me too. What a special day. Well, I'm glad you're here because coming up on Saturday, we're going to be once again at the Carnes Christmas Parade for our third
year in a row.
That means we are suckers. That means
that means we enjoy a Christmas parade.
We do love a Christmas parade, but I'm saying is once they find somebody who likes the gig, we really would have to be egregious to screw it up. I mean, you know what I mean? At this point, we're kind of baked in.
This is why they don't serve us eggnog at the parade.
No, it's too early in the morning for that, definitely. But please do, by the way, go to frankandfriendsshow.com/store.
It's early.
To buy fabulous merch. It's definitely hoodie season, and the hoodies are looking good.
And they're festive because they're red.
Or any other color. We have a green one. I mean, Bruce Patrick. Oh, I meant to put up Bruce Patrick's photo. He sent us a photo. I think he actually got a red one too, but he got the crew neck red.
Oh, nice.
So imagine that Bruce is right here, modeling his Frank and Friends crew neck, which makes me very excited. And Sarah Roberto, bought the bucket hat. You can tell it's a Becca episode because I'm barely awake.
I made me get up early for this, I've been up since 6 because my kids get me up so incredibly early.
My alarm went off at 6:30. I don't think I don't sound warmed up, in my opinion. Whereas when Diva Frady comes over, it's mid-afternoon.
Some of us don't have the luxury of those hours.
Well, she was. That's her life, though.
I know.
In the arts, your day doesn't start till 10 or noon, and it goes until 10 or midnight.
I was about to say, they have such late hours. That makes sense.
Exactly. So that's the merch. Do like and subscribe on YouTube. Especially all you kids from Scholars Bowl who might be tuning in to see if I'm going to talk about you on this episode. Probably, yes. But do hit the subscribe button and make sure that happens. So I guess I will mention that right off the top, that I'm alive again.
Scholars Bowl is
we have wrapped
filming
the 2024 season of Scholars Bowl, 62 episodes. And you can tell because this table is now a table.
It's clean. Oh, it's not a
Scholars Bowl
command center.
Command center, right? With Jerry's computer over there, and my computer over here, and questions and stacks and other researchy items and things.
Can you give me a fun trivia question?
Well, yes, I can actually pull up dozens and hundreds, thousands.
I mean, off the top of your head, Frank.
Off the top of my head, okay. Give me a category because I have so
Arts and entertainment.
Arts and entertainment. All right. The Mona Lisa was originally is known by what Italian name? La Gioconda. The Mona Lisa hung in the Louvre from 17 blah, blah, blah to now, except for a 3-year period from 1800 to 1803, when what emperor had it hung in his own bedroom?
Napoleon?
That's right. 10 points.
Hey!
See? So how about that? All right. Well, anyway, one of the kids on the winning team was so excited to be on Scholars Bowl that he made me a tie. Or his parents made me a tie. And I thought maybe, I don't know if it would sound too loud on the show if I tried putting it on to see how it looks. But
that's really sweet.
Yeah, isn't it? And this is his senior year, so he's done. Sorry for the tie noise there, audio listeners like Bean. So here you go. This is but I thought the problem with it is this is how it would look on TV. Is it would just say, not that there's a problem with
you could wear it for a party.
PB.
Just, it might be a little tough. You know what, though?
What?
When you're taking promotional photos and that kind of thing, you can use it for that.
I did. I'm going to, when we do the press interviews in January to promote the 40th season of Scholars Bowl, my 8th, but the 40th for the show. Also, I love the idea so much, though, that I thought about figuring out how to make a one with the step and repeat of the Scholars Bowl logo. So instead of saying PBS, it just said little Scholars Bowls all over.
All you really need the logo is, and you can find, I bet your merch company could probably create something like that.
Yeah. So I'll probably try to get that done. So it was a successful season. I was exhausted. I took 7 weeks hiatus from Einstein Simplified. You know, I was late getting the last 2 Frank and Friends episodes posted, but at least they got posted.
I mean,
at least they got
you've been
done.
a little busy.
They got done.
A little busy.
But it was quite, you know, anyway, I'm proud of my wife because she really stepped up and helped. We were writing questions.
I mean, she's basically a producer of the show now, right? Does she even get credit on that yet?
Yes. On the day that she comes in and has her picture made with the other judges, and they stand there and they wave. So you get to see her in the credits of the show.
Good. She deserves it.
She does.
So she does. She works hard for it.
And I give her the whole check when it comes.
Well, that too.
Like, here, just you take it. I don't know.
She's the manager. Yeah. Manager, producer, financial advisor, everything.
Yeah. So, you know, so it's. I'm doing the show for fun because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But
well, and it wrapped up at a good time because the holidays are here.
It's the holiday season.
Yeah.
And now, I'm already.
Are you ready for them though? Because you've been so busy. I know I've been busy too with work, so it's just.
I'm trying to figure out where are we in the game plan, because I guess we had to rush off that same week. First of all, 2 days after Scholars Bowl, I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm still doing the interview show up close. We've got on the Monday after Scholars Bowl, we did 2 up closes, and then 2 more this past Monday, and I got 2 more this coming Monday. So then I'll be done.
Yeah.
But one of the guys who's a guest on Up Close, he calls me and says, I was wondering if can't decide which photos to send you for my interview. I've narrowed it down to 70. I said, pick 5 or maybe 10 at most. Well, I was wondering if I could come over and we could meet for a few minutes. Perhaps we could or meet you anywhere you want for about, only 15 minutes. If I could just meet with you for 15 minutes and show you these 70 photos. I said, look, I got to go. And then I wrote him an email. I said, it's not worth spending another minute worrying about the photos. I'd rather have no photos than spend another minute worrying about it. It's okay. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, then about an hour later, I get an email with exactly 10 photos attached to it. So I managed to somehow pick them. So I'm glad that worked out.
But I understand as a chronic overthinker, I get where you can get kind of paralyzed by making the decision and afraid to make the wrong one.
And then I said, after the end of the interview, I said, now they're going to have to do some editing in post because of a thing that happened that night. They didn't have somebody to switch in the pictures live at the show, as it turns out.
Oh, gotcha.
As it turns out. So they're all going to have to be edited in later. I said, well, here's your chance. If you want to send a picture that you would illustrate one of the stories that you told, you still can. You got by tomorrow maybe. Well, you tell me the chapter from the book and I'll tell you what picture. I'll send you the picture right away. I said, I smiled and nodded, and I thought, I'm not going to think about this interview again until it's on the air, and I have to make a social media post saying, tune in tonight.
Oh, the fun behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, no, but I get that. The whole feeling of just being not necessarily overwhelmed, but just, you just need to close that chapter and rest.
The definition of whelmed is beyond. Overwhelmed is such an exaggeration. We don't need the word overwhelmed because just being whelmed is enough. Apparently being whelmed is to be consumed, just like underwater, to be just completely enveloped and consumed, just to be whelmed. So imagine being overwhelmed is like, I didn't know this.
I was about to say, so what rabbit hole did you go down when you discovered this?
Oh, we were looking at GRE vocabulary words.
Okay.
There's there's a website with 1,001 GRE vocabulary words.
Okay, because we're just like, how did you even find that out? Because I don't think I've ever heard whelmed used. Everybody just uses overwhelmed.
For I think it was in the 90s, maybe the 2000s, people used to sardonically use the word whelmed as meaning they were unimpressed. Not, that movie, I wasn't overwhelmed, I was just whelmed. And they meant it to be funny, and it was funny, but I bought into the whole idea that it meant not that bad. Whelmed is bad. So there's got to be, anyway. I didn't use it on the show this year, but now I'm thinking I like the way it came out talking to you, so I'll probably have to get that in there.
You're welcome. I would now like a writing credit on the show.
I'm giving writing credits to some of my friends who sent me questions, like Dr. Frank Jr., PhD, and my friend Aaron Littleton from Einstein Simplified. Really, seriously, I was so desperate for questions that we were in Kohl's,
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was at a church event, and I was talking to this married couple. They're lovely people, the Britt and Jen Dalton. And I keep running into them a lot because I emceed the Go Contemporary Dance Gala, and they were there. Their daughter dances. Yeah. Then there's an event at church. They go to the same church as I do, and I see them at that, and we're talking.
Yeah.
And I mentioned Scholars Bowl because I really, obviously, until I get over it, which I'm not over it yet, I can't talk about anything else. And
I've noticed.
It turns out that Britt is in the physical therapy line of work, and Jen loves art, but she mentioned she hasn't cracked open her art history books since college. And we just get talking, and she says, oh, you should make a question about the somethings. And I'm like, oh, that'd be lovely. Could you send that to me, email it to me, text it to me, anything. It doesn't even have to be a completely formed question, just that idea of whatever it is you're talking about, because I think it was Mary Cassatt. She wanted me to do a question about Mary Cassatt. I'm like, okay. Well, it gets down to, now it's the day before the final two tapings. It's Sunday. Yeah. We're going to finish the show on Monday, Tuesday, and wrap. But we're still writing those last 6 episodes. And
talk about time crunch.
And my white shirt. Well, we reuse old questions, but I also have to freshen them up. And then we realize, we don't have enough geography questions. So then we're on the internet looking, or we don't have chemistry questions. We had Frank Jr. on the phone for 3 hours. No, it was nice though. We love him.
No, I know, but it's.
And it was kind of quiet because all of us are typing, and then Frank Jr. will say, "Hey, what about this?" And he'll say some chemistry question, and we're like, "Genius!" And then the next thing you know, boom, bing, it pops up.
Well, there you go. Well, but it's just I know that you work on these questions well before you start.
You have to
filming.
You have to pin down the question. So the fact that you're still
like rushing to get stuff and for the final episodes, I'm just like I'm grasping the full breadth of everything.
Yeah, well, we had more shows. We had 62 episodes.
Oh, wow.
I even told all the students in the last 4, the philosophical 4, I said, hey, don't assume you've heard all these questions before, because we ran out, so we had to write a bunch of new ones. So listen carefully.
So is it you had more episodes because you had more entries?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we had 64 entries this year, the full tournament. One ended up forfeiting. We should have had 63 episodes, but we ended up doing 62. So what are you going to do? But we still had to prepare all those games. Mm-hmm. We still had to prepare 63 games. Anyway, so now it's Sunday before, and I realize I didn't even think about them because they didn't send me anything. So I've forgotten about them. And we're looking at the clothes, and
You're
Jared
now at
says,
Kohl's.
No, we're at home here, and Jared, we realize I need a new white shirt. The old white shirt, I've got a white shirt that's too is too tight. I've got a white shirt that's too loose, and I've got the white shirt that fits from 2 or 3 years ago, but there's too much makeup on the collar.
All right, Goldilocks.
Don't have time to clean it. So we go to Kohl's. We're going to buy a white shirt. White shirt. I know exactly the style. I know the brand. I know the size. I know exactly what we want. Yep. Well, Kohl's, we realize as we're there, no longer carries the style I want. They certainly don't have the size that I need, because I've got to figure it out. It's I call it Fat Boy Slim, because you get like one size up on the neck, but a slim cut for whatever reason. It works. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
Some guy that owns a clothing store told me when I was in his fashion show. I'm like,
okay, there you go.
So we can't find this shirt. They've gotten rid of all of the Chaps. They've gotten rid of all of the Van Heusen.
Wait, what?
I used to go to Kohl's.
Yeah, because those are the brands that my husband wears. Yeah. He just hasn't been shopping in a while. They don't carry those brands anymore?
Correct. They've moved on to younger, hipper brands. And I realize that Kohl's I thought I was going to have to break up with Kohl's when I can't find these shirts. And then I start Googling it and I realize, and I asked one of the clerks, oh yeah, we don't carry that anymore. So Kohl's had already broken up with me. I just didn't know it yet.
I was about to say, have we aged out of Kohl's?
Yes. Or Kohl's has deliberately refocused their market to be younger, definitely younger than me. Well, I'm surprised younger than you. I would think they would be going for...
I'm kind of hit or miss because they definitely have some brands that are a little too trendy for me, and I kind of more prefer classic styles.
Yeah, and that's where they're going.
But also, I will say when I first got my job with Knoxville Area Transit and I needed to purchase a bunch of business clothes, it was, post-COVID, and it was basically all athleisure wear, and I was like, this isn't going to work for me.
Yeah.
And so I found myself at JCPenney of all places because I had
what a coincidence. Ages. Okay.
Did you go to JCPenney?
Well, let me finish the Kohl story. So we're realizing that there's nothing here for us, and we see across the aisle. I'm in the men's department. I look across the aisle, and there's I don't know if it's men's shoes or something. I see this younger, hipper couple, and it's Britt and Jen, and I'm like this. Hey, I won't yell because I don't want to hurt your ears.
You yelled at them across Kohl's?
I yelled across Kohl's. Hey, Jen, Where are those art history pictures I was supposed to see? Now, for me, it's a Casey Kasem reference, and maybe you get that too. Where are those pictures I was supposed to see? And my wife is chuckling, and they look at us and go, oh, and they come rushing over, and she starts telling me about Mary Cassatt. And she starts telling me about, oh, you should do one about the guy who attacked the Pietà with a geologist's hammer. And what about, I don't know, she had 3 brilliant ideas right off the top of her head, things I didn't even know and never even heard of.
Yeah.
So I start trying to text them to myself, and she gives me her number and the husband's number. And within an hour or two, she has texted in the Mary Cassatt question in question form. He has texted in several anatomy, physiology type questions that we can use.
Yeah, because you said he's a physical therapist. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he had some about something about the sacrum, which is basically your butt. But he was it's a good bone.
I know. I can't remember, but one of my Facebook friends broke hers recently.
Oh.
So that's why I'm like, yes, I've heard of that.
That's bad news.
She fell down the stairs.
Apparently
she's okay, but she's had a special pillow for a little
They used to call it the holy bone for some reason. That's why it's called the sacrum, based on the same words as sacred, because in the ancient times, they thought that was the only bone that didn't decompose, or when they would, people would get burned at the stake or whatever happened to them, they would always be able to find this triangular bone among the debris. So they came up, that's why they named it that. And this is, ancient.
So glad science has taught us so much over the years.
Anyway, it's an interesting part. So they thought, some people thought that's where the soul resided, was in this strange shaped bone. Oh. Yeah, that synthesizes after you're born, I believe. It comes to, all the pieces of it come together and solidify.
Was that the question?
Something along that. I was probably simpler than that. I made it simpler for the high schoolers.
Okay.
Yeah. But, it was interesting. Anyway,
yeah.
So I've yelled across them and got that checked off. And then I started Googling the Van Heusen and the Chaps and all those things.
Yeah.
And the answer keeps coming back, JCPenney. And we're right across the street.
Yeah,
We're at the Kohl's at...
by the West Town Mall.
Across the street from West Town Mall. So we go across the street. And it was like JCPenney welcoming me back with its warm, loving grandma embrace.
It's like, Kohl's may not want you anymore, but I do.
Yes. And there's no one else here. Come on in. No one's visited us in so long. No, not since Becca was here. We ended up buying a new jacket, too.
Oh.
I got a Van Heusen jacket out of the deal, and I'm excited,
Yeah, well, it's also good to know. So now when my husband goes looking for stuff, I'll be like, go to JCPenney.
Yeah, forget that. Sorry, Kohl's.
Well, my mom retired from there, so she gets her lifelong discount. So I get texts randomly like, hey, friends and family time. Let me know if you need anything. And so, whenever, the kids need something and I wasn't able to pick it up at the consignment center, I'm like, hey, the boys could use pajamas or
by
whatever.
definition, the kids are younger than hipper than we are, so that's fine. You're not buying clothes for your dad at Kohl's anymore.
No.
It's because, like me, he would have aged out of Kohl's.
My mom might try, but I don't know. I don't keep up with their
It'd be hilarious
daily
to see how it looks. Well, let's give a plug. Before we do the ad for Bone Zones, I'll remind you that we're going to be hosting the Carnes Christmas Parade. Yes. And it's Mike from Warren Drugs is going to be the MC.
Mike Gordon from Gordon Drugs.
Well, never mind Warren. Forget about you. Mike Gordon from Gordon Drugs. Yep. Much better than the other guy.
Yeah, so he's going to be our Grand Marshal for Saturday. Step off is at
9?
9? That sounds right.
Yeah, we're there at...
we're there 7:30.
Oh, don't say 7:30. That's ridiculous. 8:30? 8:15? 8:15.
It's been a year. I have slept since then. I'll have to check my calendar. That's
a line from Last Christmas by Wham, isn't it? It's been a year, so...
Don't Whamageddon me.
Oh, are you a Whamageddoner?
I play Whamageddon.
I am the opposite. I try to hear that song every day leading up to Christmas.
Look, I'm not mad when I finally hear it, but I actually made it last year. I won Whamageddon last year. Because you can hear remakes.
Explain.
Okay,
for those of you who like me who love Wham's Last Christmas.
So Wham's Last Christmas is such a popular Christmas song.
Good.
It's practically impossible to make it between Thanksgiving and Christmas without hearing the song.
It's possible. It's not Mariah Carey.
It's close.
All right.
So the whole point of Whamageddon is to make it as long as you can in the holiday season without hearing Wham's version of Last Christmas. Now, if you hear a remix or whatever,
like Taylor Swift's version, Taylor's version.
So if you hear one of those, that's fine. You're still in the game. Last year is the first year I actually made it all season.
So that means you didn't listen to me on the radio at all.
So
That's what
it's
I'm learning.
weird
That's
now
okay.
that I'm not
That's okay.
in radio. I don't actually get to listen to the radio.
I was on an all Christmas
station
station last year, is what I'm saying. This year, I don't think we're doing all Christmas.
But so it is a requirement. It is against the rules to stream through my work computer.
Okay.
So and then the Wi-Fi in our building is so bad that it cuts in and out from my phone. So I just don't bother putting it on my phone, and I don't have an old-fashioned radio to just turn on the radio.
How do you know? I mean, if you're driving home, listening to some bops, how do you know to turn it off in time to avoid?
Well, you can't, and that's the point. So it's all complete chance. You could walk into JCPenney and it could be playing. And you're like, I got Whamageddon.
It was, actually. They were already playing Christmas songs when I was there at both Kohl's and JCPenney.
But was it before Thanksgiving?
Oh, well before
Thanksgiving. Well, then you're fine. You're still safe. You're still in the game.
No, I want to hear it.
You can purposefully lose the game. You don't have to play.
Purposely. What if I work on a radio station where I get to talk up that exciting intro?
Well, then you do you, boo. But that's the point. Can you make it all holiday season without hearing Wham's Last Christmas?
Well, then I don't like you because it means you're tuning me out. Boo on you.
Maybe.
I'm sorry. I know Manta won't never watch this, but if Manta is the queen of Whamageddon.
She's the one who reminds me every year. I'm like,
she posts the rules. Time. She enforces the rules.
Yep. She wants to keep up with if you've been, Whamageddon.
She'll check the playlist of whatever station you claim to be listening to make sure that you're not lying.
I mean, she's a little busier than that, but yeah.
All right. Anyway, bonezones.com. Don't forget the S, is where you can get autographed merchandise from Dr. Bill Bass, whether it's the long sleeve winter version of the Body Farm t-shirt, or whether it's some cozy winter reading like Carved in Bone or any of the Dr. Brockton thriller mystery series, or the nonfiction works like Death's Acre. I'm excited because I have been conscripted at to give another Body Farm lecture.
Oh, that's exciting.
One of the people from the Von Orr Library who hired us to come down and give the speech in September, I guess it was, is having us back in March. I had to choose between February and March, and I thought, that date in February is when it always floods. So I'm going to pick, we've had bad weather at the end of February.
I was like, what?
Past few Februaries, we've had a lot of rain. I don't know, I'm hopeful that we get rain this year because we're overdue.
I was about to say we need rain right now.
We don't need a soaking flood of it. Anyway, so end of March, I'll be doing another Body Farm presentation. So you can hire me to do this tribute to Dr. Bass, where I play audio clips of me talking with Dr. Bass, and I've got slides of dead people and all the fun stuff that you would want. And we sell the merch, including all these amazing array of different colored T-shirts, a lot of them orange with pictures of Dr. Bass on them. It's fun stuff, if you're interested in that kind of degree of science. Yeah. And
it is interesting, and it's what so many television shows are based off, is forensic science, and that's basically I don't know if he was a pioneer, but he's one of the foremost. Yeah,
I mean, all that stuff about, you can see I used to go show CSI with Grissom was the expert in analyzing how long it takes a maggot to eat a corpse. Mm-hmm. Well, that was all figured out at the Body Farm. They didn't know that. That was all Dr. Bass's. And he won't take credit for it because he says, well, I started a graduate program so that students wanting to get their PhDs would have stuff they could study. So we had a guy who wants to come in and write his PhD on how insects work. Somebody else who wants to do about the fluids that escape, the gases that escape, the different things. So I mean, Dr. Bass is a genius and he knows all this stuff, but he gives the credit to his students for doing the work, the actual research. That's what the whole point of starting a graduate program is. Yeah. Anyway, bonezones.com. Don't forget the S. I wanted to tell you about, you're familiar with Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right. I thought I might tell this story on the podcast because it would be fun. Let me take a sip.
You used to know him from your radio days in LA, right?
Right. We worked together at KROQ on the Kevin and Bean show. I was the producer and he was the writer. Mm-hmm. And we shared an office. And when we would go on remotes to different cities, sometimes we went to Seattle, we went to, sometimes it was just even in the greater LA area.
Because LA is like 3 hours from LA.
Yeah. Right? Or if we were going to do an early morning thing at Disneyland, Disneyland would put us up in the Disneyland hotel the night before so that all we had to do was, wake up, shower, and walk to the remote to start at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin would get his own room, Bean would get his own room, and the rest, like Professor Ann, Marianne.
Bunk up.
We would bunk up. So Mark Davis, who was AKA Richard Cheese, and Lightning, who was the associate producer at the time, became the producer when I left.
Yeah.
They would usually share a room. In fact, I think they were even shared an apartment to save money. They were roommates in real life.
Wow, that's a lot of time together.
And Jimmy would always say, "I'll room with Frank." He would call me, put dibs on me right away.
Yeah.
And I just because I guess I'm just the easiest. I'm not gonna.
I mean, I think you're easy to get along with.
Yeah. Plus, he knows that I'm not gonna. I'll leave the room.
You're a considerate person.
Clean enough. Everything will be. The bathroom's going to be clean enough. The room's going to be clean enough. Everything's going to be fine for 1 night, 2 nights. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, given that history, given that background, there was a bit. My friend Tim Poutre, who used to be a radio producer for Gary Bryan, he worked at Z100. He worked with Ben and Brian in Phoenix and JB and Sandy in Austin. I don't know. And I think they were on in Dallas for a little while too, JB and Sandy.
Oh,
and
well, I'm from Houston. We don't talk about Dallas.
Never mind. Well, anyway, Tim worked with them. That was I think one of his favorite,
he worked with a lot of big talents.
His favorite jobs was working with JB and Sandy.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, now he's a Santa Claus.
Oh.
So he likes to wear the old-timey bathing suits, and he does beach Santa pictures. So you go back to Malibu, and there's Santa Tim or Beach Santa Tim, and you get your picture made, or you can hire him to pop in and visit you. Well, that's what happened. He texts me. He says, "You got to watch Jimmy Kimmel tonight. I'm on it," and he's doing the Santa as Santa Claus. But he's not beach Santa. He's got traditional, fur-lined Santa on there.
Okay.
So I tune in, or he actually sends me the link the next day in reality.
I was about to say, did you stay up that late?
No. Plus, I'd have to plug in the TV to watch.
Your TV's not even plugged in?
Well, I mean, it's plugged into Roku. There's something wrong with the over-the-air thing. It works, but the sound doesn't work. So I can watch over-the-air TV silently, but I haven't missed it. So
fair enough.
Yeah, I can watch everything on.
We only ever go over to live TV when there's sports on.
Exactly. And some of that you can get through the Roku anyway. So I watched the bit, and I immediately am reminded of a prank that Jimmy played on me. So jumping back now, so we know that we're about to hear about Tim on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Yes.
I'm now jumping back to the 1990s,
okay.
And we are in...
I feel like we should have that flashback screen effect.
It's mid-1990s, and there's a K-Rock Weenie Roast concert.
Okay.
Which means big outdoor concert, and we had huge bands. We had No Doubt when they were nobody. We had they're fantastic. They're from Orange County, so this was like their hometown gig. For them it was almost like here's this local band.
I was going to say, was this before or after their Tragic Kingdom debut?
Right around the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they were
getting big.
They got big because of K-Rock.
Okay.
K-Rock broke a lot of big bands and made them famous, so they would play. A lot of them would play these concerts. Well, the concert's over. I think it was might have been a 2-day concert, and that year.
Yeah.
And they had Kiss one year, ironically, we had Kiss in full makeup with fireworks. I know.
Awesome.
Unbelievable. It was like. So one year we had a bunch of bands, and we're back at the hotel.
Yeah.
So those of us on staff have rooms, and so do some of the bands.
Okay.
So we're in the lobby bar, and I wish I could tell you which alternative band it was, but it wasn't somebody who went on to become huge, but well known enough.
Yeah, maybe a 1 or 2 hit wonder type.
If I could remember, you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember them.
Yeah.
So they're in the lobby, everyone's talking, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. So I said goodnight. I went upstairs and went to my room.
Okay.
Which I shared.
Which you shared with Jimmy.
Okay. Then, so I'm asleep, and I wake up a little bit, and I just get this feeling that somebody's looking at me.
That's creepy.
And I'm laying in bed, and I open my eyes, and the entire room is full of everybody who had been in the lobby bar, the alternative band, the staff members. I think some strangers who are just fans, Jimmy, God. And they're all looking at me, waiting for me to wake up. And Jimmy told me later he was so disappointed because he said, "You sleep like the grandma in a Bugs Bunny cartoon." They wanted, I don't know what they expected.
Did they want you to be like flailing around and having night terrors?
They wanted me to be sleeping in the nude with, who knows, with, like this. Actually, there was this woman named Spanky McFarlane who was in a group called Spanky in our gang, and she used to have the apartment next to me when I first moved to LA, and she would sleep with her windows open and the TV on loud and the lights on, and I walked by, I made a mistake of glancing, and she was exactly that, naked on the bed. I thought, oh. Anyway.
Close the blinds.
Close the blinds, Spanky McFarlane. But, so they were disappointed. I'm just like, So that was the end of the prank, right? All right. Well, apparently, Jimmy now has people play this prank on him on a regular basis on his show. So he's had, I think he mentioned Dua Lipa and maybe, I don't know who else. That's the only name I can remember right now. But a bunch of current pop stars have teamed up with Jimmy's wife and the camera crew and everyone on the show. Jimmy's wife, I think, works on the show.
Yeah. And
they go in and they wake up Jimmy and they play a song and they dance and they throw on the lights and they do a big, like down here, Vivek used to do the big orange wake up where they would get some people from the marching band would come into someone's bedroom and start playing Rocky Top. Same concept. It's an old-timey radio bit that's been around forever, but now they do it on Jimmy's show to him.
So here's the question. Does Jimmy know when it's going to happen?
Cynically, I'll say yes. But they play it like he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because, so now I'm ready to watch this bit with my friend Tim dressed as Santa Claus, ready to wake up Jimmy Kimmel, and it's like November 1st.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with this?
Okay.
It's like it's time to thaw out Christmas, and who is there with my buddy Tim to walk in on Jimmy Kimmel, but Mariah.
I was about to say Mariah Carey, right?
Carey.
Like, has to be.
So here's Jimmy. Here's my buddy Tim, and here's Mariah Carey, and they're like this together, and they're going okay.
Let's wake up Jimmy.
In they go, and they've got people dressed as elves, and they got people with glitter.
I was about to say, was there a glitter bomb? You have to have a glitter bomb.
And they throw on and Jimmy like, hello? And they throw on the lights and make all the noise, and they play a recording of and Jimmy's reaction is, you're still coming on the show tomorrow, right? So, to Mariah Carey, and she said yes, because apparently this whole thing was a bit to set up.
To promote.
During the monologue, and then Mariah was the featured guest on the show that night. But I thought, that's interesting. He's just same prank.
He's recycling pranks from the 90s.
Which,
get some new stuff, Jimmy.
Well, I can't blame him, because we were doing those pranks with Don and Mike at Weva in the 80s, and I'm sure somebody did them in the 70s.
Yeah. There's some version of that has been around.
It's been around and around.
Long enough.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sitting through all that story. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
And do look for us. Actually, we'll be on the Carnes channel. Carnes has their own YouTube channel, and they'll be streaming the parade live on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. And of course, if you miss it, it's still on YouTube. You can still watch the one from last year or the year before.
And we always reshare it on our social medias as well.
So I hope you'll tune in and check that out. Do, if you enjoy audio entertainment, do go to audibletrial.com/FrankandFriendsShow for a free 30-day premium membership. Try it out. Someone in your life might really enjoy this for Christmas, where you can listen to tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands by now, of audiobooks and other forms of audio entertainment, including all these podcasts that we keep churning out.
Which is really great when you're doing holiday traveling.
Absolutely. You want to hear that while you're driving and have it keep track of where you are. So after you get out of the car and then you get to grandma's house and you just want to go sit up in your old children's bedroom and put your AirPods in and rock, the book will remember where you left off.
Yes. Or you can use it as, positive reinforcement to get to the gym. I have a book that I only listen to when I'm on the treadmill at the gym.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
It's been taking me a very long time to get through this book.
I think it's working. It looks like you're doing well.
Thank you. I am down a few.
All right.
Got quite a few more to go.
I'm glad I didn't bring up the cake mix. We'll bring this up on a future episode. I'll save that for a future story.
Yeah, because this season isn't great for the waistline anyway.
Not good.
No.
Do check out our merch. In fact, another incentive might be, buy a smaller size and shrink down into it. Whether you want the beach towel, the bucket hat, the hoodie, the mug. Where's the mug? Show the mug.
The mug. I've been showing it a lot today. I've been thirsty this morning.
I know. I'm parched too. Here's the hoodie. I love the hoodie. fact, I need to put that on and head out to the chiropractor's office, which is why I need to wrap the episode. Sorry for the noise. Make sure you like us on the social media. And
it's the Frank and Friends Show on Facebook and Instagram, the YouTube.
Yes, click the thumbs up on YouTube. That helps the algorithm, I'm told.
Yep.
And subscribe on YouTube, because that really makes all the difference in the world.
Yep.
And we're so desperately close to 1,000.
Oh, yeah, help us get there. That'll be a great Christmas present.
It's ridiculous. I've been saying this for 3 years now. But it's gain 2, lose 1. Gain 2, lose 1. It's you talk about slow progress at the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's always like 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
But I'm not going to worry about it. I
You'll
can't worry about it. If it happens, it happens. And it'll be not because of me. It'll be because of you.
Oh.
I mean, 98% of people who watch this channel are non-subscribers.
Oh, yeah, just mash the subscribe button.
Yeah, so anyway, there you go. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Frank Murphy. This is the Frank and Friends Show.
I'm Becca James.
And we'll talk to you again next time. That's not how I usually sign off, is it?
No, not at all.
It worked, though. We're just going to keep it.
Let's go with it. It's fine. It's all fine. The fire is all around us. We're fine. It's all good.